All right, we're back. We had our 10, 11, 12, 13-minute break. Sorry about that. We got talking about wrestling. And that sometimes takes a while to resolve. So my bad. We left off with Tarka having had an introductory conversation with Phantom, and he left I'm assuming they left the whole guild and either returned to the crew, or did you do something else?
No, I presumably just returned to the ship. I swore to my life debt that I would just do my thing and come back so we get on the road. I wasn't trying to hold everything up any further, so I'm
Okay.
ready to return to the Remembrance and my bespoke allies.
Any conversations to be had?
I suppose I'll turn or return and go to speak to Kato directly. Find him wherever it is that he's made his awakening, presumably at this time, eating breakfast or in his. I mean, is there an op? Do we have a deck plan for the Remembrance?
We do, actually.
Do we? May I see
Yes.
that, please?
May we all see.
I don't think I have that.
Should be the Roll20 screen now.
Oh,
That is a
well, would you look at that?
YT1760. It is small.
Yeah, sure is. Jeez. Okay. Who being passenger seating? So just kind of sitting in like the main area there. All right. Yeah, so I'll walk up and kind of find him there.
Ah, Tarka. We're back.
I am returned, Grakowsk.
Oh. Go.
The so-called leaders of this place frustrate me. They are people of indirect action. Regardless, this Phantom that he uses a moniker is... I digress. He would have us hunt an old acquaintance of his. I present him with the data stick.
Yeah, I'll take a look over again. So, remind
The
me.
information is contained there. He must be retrieved alive, but for this feat, we are offered the sum of 20,000 credits.
And these guys were former Empire, if I remember correctly.
Some
Not
of
that
them
we're
might
aware
be,
of.
but I don't think there was anything specifically said to that effect.
Oh. I thought. I might be misremembering. I might be thinking of someone else. So yeah, I'm going to take a look at all the data again. What else is on it?
Don't really know. Beyond Mr.
Did you hear
Ghibli.
that?
Yeah, I'm just confirming, making sure there wasn't anything about Empire stuff.
I remember the
part of it does-
Empire.
Part of it sounds familiar, but I didn't put it anywhere, so I don't know what it was specifically about. I mean, it's very possible that many people in the Hunters Guild, as in general, are potentially former Empire. But I don't know if anything was specifically said about any key figures. But I know I just kind of feel like something I had said. Anyways, the information on the stick is it gives like in typical Star Wars fashion, kind of gives like a photo of this person without the helmet, and then it gives like a general look and kind of wireframe layout of their general person. And unsurprisingly, they're also clad in power armor. But underneath it is a sec. It's a Garuda mail.
Okay.
Which means the helmet is a little awkward, but the power armor probably has a lot of amends for the Togruta physical attributes around the head and shoulders. And then some information about kind of, maybe some like photographs or images or short videos from almost like a scout droid or something of
Okay.
them interacting with people on Narkaga, people in similar coloring between the members, not to the target, but between themselves. Um, loosely armed, but they kind of have like a sort of like a rugged uniform type look. Um, and maybe some communications traffics with certain like not like the actual like conversations themselves, but like the communication traffic of like where their comm was talking to, and you get like basically the destinations for the calls and the communications, which is all this stuff that's pointing and centered around places and at least networks around Narkaga, which is why the whole like they must be around there, because like as of not too long ago, and probably like still even roughly a matter of days relatively, they were there.
Okay.
So, what do we have in the way of armory? We'll need to have something to restrain or stun or something that's gonna get through that armor.
I think back
Look
to my
over at
old.
the droid, and like as though he's just like interrupted like the adult conversation.
You prepare for assassinations. I prepare for war.
I again confused by this statement. Like, pull like the large, like Wookiee strength binders and like bolas and garrote off my belt.
Oh, good. You agree with me.
Your compatriots vex me, Grakowsk.
Don't be jealous.
Be it no mind then. So what are your thoughts about going after this target then? How much was the pay again? Or was it not listed?
That is what concerns me. 20,000 alive.
I cannot say I've been in the bounty hunting business in a long time. At the moment, I think we are best spent keeping our attentions on our current jobs.
Agreed. And I said as much to the lord of these Cretans that gather north of here.
Good, good.
However, I had mentioned that upon completion of our current tasks, we might turn our attention to such things. There is no definite time frame. We are not under any pressure.
Good.
However, 20,000 is a mighty payday for so meager a crew as ours. It could
It
do
is.
well to see your businesses advance and this place grow more capital.
It is the politics between Phantom and I forgot her name all of a sudden.
Lady Zadal.
Politics between the Phantom and Lady Zadal. It's a tightrope. To be honest with you, Tarka. I do prefer to side with Miss Zadal.
I nod. With due respect, Grakowsk. I favor neither. I think them both cowards in heart, incapable of simply taking what they want.
That they might be.
Easy
What?
to leverage, easy to play. We need only keep our heads down, and there is opportunity here.
There is. I cannot deny that.
So, Jomer pipes up from the background, like still drinking a calf. Going after someone? Some big money? Why they need going after? Kind of money.
I look sideways over my shoulder, staring at the floor with the kind of look that would just melt Durasteel. You were not spoken to.
Oh no, that's why I piped up. Didn't know if you knew I was back here.
Fill in the straggler as you wish, Grakowsk. I have no time for this. I've spoken my piece and will take my leave if that be acceptable.
Of course. Thank you very much, Talka. And we will speak again about all of these. For sure.
As you
I can
would
promise
know.
you that. Yeah, and I will wave for Jomer to come over.
Hey, what's the word?
Jomer, remind me, what was it you did before we brought you aboard?
Well, I do fancy myself a halfway decent Sabak player. I've done a lot of trick shooting. Had a band for a while. A lot of roaming.
Drifter.
Well, yes. On the currents of fortune.
Where have you been?
Well, mostly on the outer rim, a few mid-rim planets. Been a Corellia once. Not much in the core.
Have you ever come across in any of the towns or cities you've been to anything like what we have here? This little power struggle we have going on. With Zidal, the Phantom, and there's one more, right? Or is it just Zidal and the Phantom?
It seems like it's
Those two, I think.
Seems like mostly those two.
Between Zidal and the Phantom.
Well, yeah, I've been every damn card game I've ever been in has been a power struggle. I mean, you get bigger fish and the snapping and the biting and the slapping the tails and all that get a little bigger, This is seems to be a awful similar to a lot of problems I've seen around the galaxy. I mean, doesn't seem unique to this place. In fact, seems quite quaint on scale compared to some places.
You've seen it on a scale like this before? How did it go? How did it end?
Oh, well, I mean, you can't really compare. You can't quite compare Glumpdargs plump berries. They're just two different things. I mean, every situation is particular, and the balance of forces is, local to that situation. You can't really there's some lessons, but can't answer that in a vague way.
Perhaps not, but I do find that answer helpful. Thank you. He stand up himself.
Well, I'm glad I helped you out. That's certainly a nice effect of talking.
We haven't taken off yet, right? How soon will you be? Is there
You're the
anything you
captain,
need to take care
Captain.
of? One?
I was gonna say, right?
We're not going anywhere without you, say.
Fair enough. Is there anything you need to take care of? Wait, question taken. I'm sorry, brain. Is there anything you need to take care of on planet before we head on?
I need to clean the cantina and lock everything up.
I need to count the medical supplies to make sure no one's stealing them.
Well, do we even have medical supplies? Yeah, we have some bandages and stuff like that.
The count is 5.
Has anyone stolen from those 5?
Yes.
Who?
Me.
You might
I
have to
use
have
all of them eventually.
Fucking B1s.
You might have to have that one checked.
I'm only what 6 times the the expected life of a B1 battle droid. 8 times.
They say
Yeah,
personality
like that.
quirks start to appear when you don't routinely mind scrub your droids.
Yeah. I think the times of your expected life is a lot more than that. I mean, B1 droids are basically rolled out the factory and they get shot right away. Like the
Yeah,
second they hit
expected to be
the floor.
destroyed. I think they have like an average service life of like maybe 6 months or something like that.
I was gonna say a minute. Just,
I've been
They're
around
the
for
Imperial Guard of Star Wars.
30,
Life
35
is the emperor's
years.
currency.
He
Yeah.
spends it well.
Well, no, he doesn't. Definitely false emperor.
Ah.
We're off to Tatooine then, Captain.
If the cantina is all set and good, then yes. I think it is time we got on the way.
Oh, is Jomer our new pilot?
Ooh.
I mean, he acts like the old one.
Had we figured that out before?
sorry.
Had we figured it out before? But I think like Jomer was like, who we talked about being the pilot.
I mean,
Did we not talk about this at all?
he has enough agility to be.
I put points to piloting.
I mean, you had one of the girls doing it for a bit, but now they're at the office, so. Before it was.
And you can always do it yourself. I can also do it, but it's like, me fitting in that small chair.
That's the obstacle.
It's always this chair.
I do have 10 XP to spend on it, and I shall spend it on it, but
We don't have to. We just need to know who's piloting. That's all. Who do you trust with the remembrance?
I mean, the only thing you don't really have to be agile as long as it's just taking off and stuff.
Yeah.
When it becomes heated and we need to do emergency landings and stuff.
Yeah.
given that we needed a pilot to get to Rhodia in the first place, I'm going to say Kato is the one who's been doing the piloting.
Okay.
Though I think at this point he'd bring on Jomer as co-pilot. at the very least.
Okay. So how is this is going to be a little bit of a meta question, but it's still interesting to sometimes ask: is how has Kato been taken to piloting in Mason's shadow?
I think he keeps the mini bar stocked next to the piloting seat.
Sure.
He doesn't really touch it a whole lot.
That
He doesn't-
Yomer gets into the cockpit for being a co-pilot. There are no co-pilot seats. There's a minibar and a fridge.
That's
Fridge needs to-
right. I forgot he cleaned that out for that. Forgot about that.
So there's no seating.
The second
No,
seat isn't
but
there.
there are plenty of booze and all the lemons and limes you need to make cocktails.
Well, there's still like computers and whatnot up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still because the cockpit has the 4 seats. Like 2 of them would be the actual like pilot. Oh no, it doesn't. This image only shows 2 seats. So yeah, there's. I was thinking of a different image. So yeah, there's no secondary seat. It's basically just a pilot chair and then the ice machine / bar that Mason had Nard installed in the co-pilot chair. That's season 1, folks. So there's
I have concerns.
Nord makes sure is to buckle up extra safely too. Remembering those wise words from our former pilot.
right. So
I'm using an extra share of seatbelts.
So yeah, we see Kato hop into the seat and
Yeah.
maybe like take a deep breath or something, depending on how Kato's been feeling in terms of comfortability with piloting. And the ship, sure enough, repulsors up into a lift. The landing struts come in, ramp finishes closing and all that. Main engines come to a roar, and you start taking up and onward. Poking out from above or clearing the canyon level, looking out to the silver sand deserts, and then upward and onward through the cloud level and into space, and then we see the star pole and hyperspace.
Yeah.
So I think we said it was just a couple days trip to Tatooine.
If that, we're pretty close.
Yeah, it's not very far.
There are no near-lying space lanes.
Yeah, it's like
Where-
2.
That's our one problem. We are off of the space lanes. So looking at the map, we'd have to jump, I think, to Smuggler's Run is the closest.
Yeah.
And then jump along the rest. There was a thing going on at Smuggler's Run, though. I remember you mentioning something like that.
Yeah, well, it was
Am I
just
getting
like-
my...
I don't know if there's anything on Smuggler's Run. It was just here. I'll show you guys. I'll bring the stream the stream would see it if I fucking was on the page, but because you guys are down here. So yeah, so the tricky part is getting from Stoga to Smuggler's Run area, and then going to Ryloth and even around over the Tatooine isn't the difficult part because there's at least hyperspace lane, especially the major one, let alone a minor one to Tatooine. But yeah, the tricky part, which probably is the unstable part, is just that little line from Stoga to Smugglers.
You probably need an astrogation check of some kind.
Yeah, let's see if it to see how long this journey takes.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck is a mass shadow? Right? I mean, those don't exist. Something.
Right. So yeah,
Right.
give me a 3 purple pilot or 3 purple astrogation. Yeah. And we'll see how long this trip takes. Actually, I could have thrown dark side, but I won't. I remembered it too late.
This is why we need an astromech. Where's the stupid little computer that does this for us?
You just got to reformat Bix.
Zix is over that way.
Yeah.
It's not a bad plan.
I mean, I can help. I got 4 int.
Yeah, like I'll route something to you to try and get some help with that if you don't mind. Because I
Okay.
have.
There you go.
I'm
See?
not using the processing power.
All right. So, if I remember correctly, I'm using his int plus my skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm essentially now rolling 2 extra green die, right?
So
You got 3 and 3 Astro.
what do you...
Wait,
I'm sorry?
what's your int? What's your Astro?
My Astro is 1.
So it is 3 green, 1 yellow.
Okay. Yep, that should be what I'm rolling here. If not, we'll figure it out. Okay, fingers crossed, gentlemen.
And drum roll. 3 greens, 1 yellow, 3 purple.
See?
Straight
Made
success.
the drum roll with crossed fingers. Good juju.
Yeah, so it takes a couple days. You manage to do it. You can narrate if how stressful or not it is for you. It's up to you. If you're like starting to feel comfortable or not, but you manage it.
Yeah, I think for Kato, the hardest part is getting off the planet to begin with. Managing the initial takeoff, initial getting into space, and all the forces that come with that. By the time he's letting the computer take over, he probably still doesn't look like he knows what he's doing, but there's a degree of relief in there, a complete relief, of course, once the jump begins. Yeah,
We survived!
we were never in any danger.
We were in a little danger.
That won't happen unless I put us through a sun. But we will not go through a sun. Hopefully.
Well, sorry to tell you, but the campaign is now over. You went through a stun.
Minor calculation in those 15 million lines of code, and you're all dead now.
Yeah.
So nice playing with you. Reroll.
Yeah, fuck. Worldwide Wrestling, after
Alright.
all. Man,
Been
look
fun,
how
that's
that
right.
happened.
A freak show. You're going nowhere. 3 minutes. Playtime.
I never knew that was Randy Savage back
Rip Macho Man,
So-
the greatest of all time.
Anyways,
then. Rated.
anything that people, how does everyone kill their 2 days on the ship? Anything in particular? I'm sure, assuming it's more or less the same, or is there anything on particular note?
Home, home on the rim, where the banthas and slug darts do swim.
I mostly try to just sequester myself in the engineering level. A, because it's warm down there with the engines. B, because the sound drowns out his singing.
I just turned my audio receptors off.
Lucky you, Robo Pants.
As we have all seen, that the robotic form of life is far superior to
Vastly
your
superior to we disgusting meatbags. Yes, if only I were a droid.
There's always
Alas.
opportunities. Just jump out the airlock.
Born into this meat vessel was I, so here we are.
I think Kato actually kind of likes the singing.
Of course.
But he's probably spending most of his time hanging out by the piloting area, like checking and rechecking the navigation, making sure he's not having to drop out real fast and then fix things.
I think I also occasionally sneak up onto deck to try to just pounce on Bix. Like a cat chases a mouse around just kind of for fun, right? Like just because he was Warren, hope you have tools and stuff, and be like, all right, fucking you little bitch, I'll show you what's what. Not like to hurt him, but I'll just pop out from behind like a fucking thing and be like, oh, you're mine now, and then let him go and be like, ah, gotcha, see ya.
There's a whole lot.
Oop, there's a whole lot.
I just imagine him just like walking.
Honestly, it's probably the most interesting thing that's happened to him for a while, so he's kind of okay with it. Like,
Wow.
it's there could be a hell of a lot worse. I could be bored.
That's true.
So I just imagine like Kato just like cautious and maybe concerned with the navigation, and we see the camera like looking at him, and that behind him is the door to the cockpit, and he's running his head through his like Nautilin head tentacles, and we see B1 just passing by the door. And then also like a bola wraps around his legs, and he's clunk onto the deck.
Big clawed hand gets dragged into the other room.
No, no, no!
Nice.
I close the door and keep working.
Kids will be kids.
When Tarka's done with you, he just drops you off like in front of Nard, just to like for it's like he needs maintenance.
Yeah, like a cat presenting like the corpse, the headless corpse of a bird. There you go. I got this for you.
You fellow reptile, look what I caught.
Look. Witness me! Scorekeeper!
Oh God! Don't make me
Can't
laugh.
wait to break that out when I legitimately. Oh man, Witness me is so gonna be a thing. Right as I like decapitate some like horrible enemy.
I mean,
Witness me,
scorekeeper, witness me. Yeah,
Yeah, just
That's
fucking
the thing.
take his head off.
I love it.
Top stuff.
That works for me. Anything for Nard?
Handing out meals, extra meals for people that brings me robots.
I offer my extra rations to the robot for being a good sport, knowing that he doesn't eat them, just to see what he does with it.
I'm seeing if there's any way I can turn it into med kits.
The humans are made out of meat, therefore I will give them more meat. That will heal them, right?
I mean, with robots, if you add more parts, the better they get.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
just
logical.
increase the content, keep it rolling.
Oh my!
I'm really only experienced with working on clones, so the rest of you guys, good luck.
This one has extra squishy bits.
I may also spend some time trying to figure out if transitions actually have a tail, if it's vestigial, or if they just hide it under their clothes.
So turnabout is fair play. Every now and again, I just find you following me around, like trying to hide but not doing a good job, taking notes down on like a fucking data pad. Like,
basically, yeah. I gotta take off the sweatshirt. Laughing too hard.
All right. So the 2 days go by pretty uneventful. I mean, the shenanigans, but otherwise, core-wise uneventful.
you guys talking about shenanigans? Oh, pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Yeah. Then you enter hyperspace in orbit of Tatooine. We see the YT-1760 pseudo-motion pop out. You're amongst a moderate to light space traffic. Not necessarily too crazy. People coming and going from the starports on ground. There are a couple interesting sites. One of them is there does seem to be some construction undergoing for a actual space-based starport, an actual like orbital platform for people to like dock ships at and whatnot, and then basically get like shuttles back and forth to the planet side. So that's rather interesting, especially for Tatooine being such a generally backwater, generally shitty planet. It's not very far along. It's like early stages of like getting the framework and stuff sorted out and layered. It's not going to be an overly massive space platform or orbital platform. It's going to be relatively small to modest. Nothing too crazy, but it's still going to be a thing at least. from initial like projection and whatnot, it's basically set up above Mos Eisley mostly. And the other one is somewhat more maybe low orbit, someone off to the side that you managed to catch a bit of a glimpse of, maybe depending on how like well, I guess because of how it's colored versus how Tatooine's colored, it might be relatively easy to spot. But you do notice like an adrift damage kind of in a small little debris cloud of its own result is a Imperial Corvette that's just kind of like unlit, just kind of adrift at like an odd angle for what a like an orbital orbit. That's the word. It's just what a normal orbit would look like for a ship in a planet. So it's clearly like a drift, but it's there. It's just kind of hanging in space, and it's maybe lightly scavenged, but nothing too drastic. Then you guys, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Then you guys head down into the atmosphere. Kato holding the controls steady with a not Mace Inspector entry into orbit or into the atmosphere.
Yeah, based on what you kind of described him as having a bit of flair, with Kato it's very by the book. Like, he just read the flight instruction manual and is trying to do everything according to plan.
Yeah, Mason would nosedive. You sink carefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
sorry, say that again.
hey, look, sand! Yay!
When you're a droid and that destroys your joints, you're not always excited to see it.
I did not pick up on the sarcasm through the voice changer.
Sorry.
I'm going to the...
Immersion.
Yeah. Hey.
I kind of agree with the droid. We're going from one hot place to another.
Out of the fire and into the fire.
I mean, this planet's got moisture farms at least.
So
What
yeah,
kind of
Stoga
idiots-
had geishas.
Who farms moisture on a desert planet with 2 suns? Who does that?
People who need moisture.
Like, I guess someone has to, but like, what? Like, that's a great way to make a living. Yeah, sure. Think about this, you fucking idiots. Lars Owen. You have 2 first names. Shut the fuck up.
Man, we thought we hated Disney. We're just unraveling all the Star Wars now. Everyone,
All of it, every last
Yeah.
part. Shut the hell up, you smoking skeleton corpse
Captain,
bastard.
are
I'm
you-
glad the stormtroopers wasted your ass.
So, Captain,
I like to
are
think
you
that
landing
the
us?
did it. No disintegration.
Right.
Again.
As you wish.
So, Captain, are you landing us near the medical supplies or where they're supposed to be at, or are we gonna gather some information first?
Most certainly aren't going in blind, I can tell you that. So where is the nearest spaceport to where we're going? Because I'm guessing there's no chance we're landing at this Imperial base. Or anywhere close to it in the desert.
Perhaps a certain wretched hive of scum and villainy.
You are landing at Anchorhead.
I know that.
The Imperial supplies are not necessarily confirmed, I guess, but highly suspected and makes sense as the main location of Fort Ironhand, which are actual canonical locations.
Anchorhead in our hand. Makes sense.
So
Yeah, let's see. Mos Eisley was what, like 2 hours north of Anchorhead, I think? A la episode 4?
I think so. Yeah, it's in that.
Yeah, he mentions it.
I don't remember the exact distance, but yeah, it was
And also
mentioned.
2 hours by what?
Speeder.
Yeah, due back would be a little bit more than that.
But yeah, you get the Anchorhead, you get into a starport. It's probably not unlike Mos Eisley with the large round open area, no real like protective domes or anything for the starports. It's just somewhere that you just kind of sink the ship in once you've gotten like clearance and stuff from I'm assuming clearance from a thing, but I wonder like with how Tatooine was there even like a air traffic control? Like did they just kind of go mine
For
and
the
it's-
Empire? Probably not. Yeah.
Definitely because Jabba didn't let anything go in and out without knowing anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose. I guess that does make sense. So they never
And
really...
even though Jabba was the main, he had a lot of advisors and stuff that made sure that his criminal enterprise worked.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a line I'm trying to remember from A New Hope. It matches a freighter that blasts its way out of Mos Eisley. So yeah, I don't think they mentioned anything about it flying without clearance. Sorry, I'm just catching up.
Yeah. We'll go with a loose, well, in light of things, especially with no immediate influence from Jabba the Hutt. Wonder why.
I was gonna say.
We'll go with the idea that there is a loose sense of air traffic control in terms of trying to keep things somewhat organized and feigning civility in terms of reserving spots to land, but it's probably pretty loose, like kind of like, hey, who are you? Okay, we have a spot here. Have fun, you know. And then you land and whatnot. It's not like they take like registration code. It's not like they do inspections or pass you documentation on procedures or something. It's just kind of like, hi, over there.
Descend into Metal Cup 3 somewhere at some point in time.
Yeah, kind of essentially. Probably someone who doesn't even sound like maybe they're all necessarily all that sober doing the job. Like it's just kind of like a desk job-ish type thing that they're just like, it's like some cab company operators when you call in and you're a little like, you've been doing stuff on the job that you shouldn't have. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But anyways, all minor formalities. You land at Anchorhead without too much issue, and you settle into your sandy bowl of a starport location.
So, goal captain is to go and fetch information about Fort Ironhead.
Yes. Once we know what we are up against, we can start to plan better how we go up against it.
I'm not saying that it's impossible to find charts or maps of Tatooine right now, but I kind of think this is not as full of computers that works and have that kind of information. And I don't think they have a tourist information anywhere on the planet.
Why don't we just look around for where the people wearing the little white shells are at, Can't be that hard tracking them down.
We were given coordinates on where it is.
For Ironhand, yeah, you have. I mean, it's near Anchorhead, so you probably, as you were descending into your bowl and like,
You probably saw it.
You probably had a pretty good vision of the fairly typical Imperial structure. The black. Often, like a lot of times, Imperial buildings have like almost like an pyramidal type shape when they end up having structures. I mean, it's usually like segmented in and whatnot, but there's a lot of times that their structures are shown with that type of architecture.
Raggy and tall.
Yeah.
So that was Nara's concern, right? Us not knowing where it was, if I understood you correctly.
I want to know more about it. Is there still Imperial troops there? How many are there people going in and out of that thing?
Yeah,
Maybe we should go to the Anchorhead Cantina and see if there are people that know people that hang around that part.
It's not a bad idea. Rather than risk any of ourselves. Problem is, it might draw some local interest.
Well, I thought that was we were friends with this Jomer fella. If he can manage a cantina, that would be fine.
I mean, don't we want to drum up some interest? I mean, I do have fixings to put out a new album, and I need to establish some tour routes.
I think, Jomer, what we're really after is a way to get into the medical supplies and get out without getting too involved with the white shelled people, as you so mentioned.
But you both bring up a good point. Joma, if you want to head to the cantina, see what you can learn about it from the locals.
All right.
Anyone who wants to go with him can. The rest of us, I think, would be best finding ourselves a speeder.
I'll follow Jomer to the cantina.
I'm going to do so as well.
Okay. I expect that.
Yeah, I kind of look at this sort of away party forming, as it were, and don't really say anything, but sort of just elect to go with them.
Kato
When
says
they leave,
nothing in
just-
response.
Conclude that I'm going to leave.
Dr. Bex, is it too presumptuous for me to see if you can scan the radio frequencies for Imperial noise?
Hmm.
I don't have the. I don't really have the built-in equipment for that one, but I do have a recon
Remember, it
remote.
has,
Say again.
remember it has basic radio capabilities.
Just background. I don't have computer skills yet. I haven't purchased that yet, but I can give it a whirl.
Fine.
I'm
You're fairly intelligent. It's fine.
yes, I can do it. I just want to give a behind the scenes on that one.
Full disclosure.
I can give it a try.
Something to do while we're out boozing it up.
And I do have a recon remote if we want to take any pictures or anything in the sky. That I just remembered we had because it would have been nice the last session.
Droids on top of droids.
Like Jenga.
So whenever that happens, I can do that now, or I can wait until everyone is kind of doing their own thing.
Okay. Let me just get an account over. So we have so far 3 going to the cantina. What is Kato doing?
Getting a speeder.
Go find a speeder.
You're gonna do the speed.
He's
thing.
planning on
Okay.
heading out there and doing a bit of recon.
Okay, sure enough. Let's do the comm traffic thing first. Then, let's see what you're able to get from the remembrance to get a sense of traffic around. You're targeting more towards the Fort Ironhead.
Difficulty.
3 purple.
See if I get this right. Okay, click off.
Well,
Yes. They may have found me. I don't know how,
Yeah,
but I
that-
think they found me.
that was the. I think you're gonna get some. I think they're gonna know that you've been listening in.
So somewhere in the comms station of the base, one of them turns to an officer and says, "Look, sir, droid."
Shit, God damn it.
Yeah, basically Bix, his way to do this.
This was Marco. Marco.
B1s.
Yeah. So for the success
Hello?
part, here's what you get. Even though you're not stealthy about this at all, Marco Polo. So
That is
like it's kind of interesting. You do catch an imperial signal briefly, but it's just one, and it's relatively kind of brief and faint. What you're mostly getting is a signal of like 5 or 6 rhythms of traffic all in that area that are rapid, constant, sometimes very pronounced, like loud signals, in between bursts and sudden interruptions of static that are like periodic and stuff in between it.
Interesting.
And and to make sure clear, it's not around Anchorhead here. Like this is around that area. This is around the fort.
Yeah.
And all the signals are all independently coded. They're not the same. All different stuff.
So I will start marking things on the data pad in terms of, here's this, this is the path I've seen on this one, and I kind of I forget we're in Star Wars, they can't just go boop and push it out to everyone.
Yeah, right.
So I'll turn on my comms.
If you were curious, I believe we found a few things here and there, so when you get back to the ship, we can have a plan of attack.
Barely left the ship, Dr. Bex.
And he's watching you guys like just walk, like you're about halfway to the actual doors, and he's just in the cockpit.
I think this probably would have taken like half an hour to an hour to figure
Yeah.
it. So fair for the joke, but reality, I think they're probably like they've had a bit of a walk because it took you some time to notice the patterns and stuff like that and really come to that conclusion. Yeah, Kato, how do you go about getting a speeder?
I'm gonna find a speeder and try to rent it.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be fun if you find a 36-year-old speeder that won once, driven by some kid?
That was a pod racer, but yeah. Oh, unless you mean Luke's. True.
Yeah, no, so Kato's looking for, he's looking for a speeder that is small, light, and reliable.
Okay.
Because he's not even going with anyone but himself at this point. Also, if there's anything that can help him pilot better, he's looking for that.
What do you mean pilot better?
I don't know, like built-in stabilizers, auto steering correction.
Aftermarket upgrades.
Okay, like good handling for the speeder.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
That's the game term for it.
Yeah, that's a bit of a tall order. So we're gonna say 2 purple and a red.
Where am I? Oh, there it is.
And I'm assuming it's
okay, you put the dark side point on me. Okay.
That's why there was the red, yeah. So I'm assuming either perception
Yeah,
to physically look for it, or this is like you're negotiating through deals to try to get the one at like some sort of loosely associated rental dealership equivalent.
Perception is such definitely not perception. I was honestly leaning more towards streetwise being the thing.
Yeah, because
we never roll streetwise.
Yeah, because it could
Not
be
yet,
a little under the. It could be a little less than legal, especially for what your criteria is.
My thought on it is I'm basically having to search around the crowd, search around the area. It's not like I'm going to a shop and talking the price down. I'm having to talk with people. I'm having to use street smarts to find it.
Okay, sure.
Oh, balls.
Nothing. A whole fat zero zilch of nothing. Yeah,
I rolled that all right.
And two purple and red, whatever your streetwise was, it just everything canceled out.
Yeah, it doesn't look like I had anything out of place.
So, yeah, it's just really difficult to find what you're looking for. Like, it's either not small, not fast. Most likely, most commonly, is not reliable. And or handling is going to be really iffy because it's, it's been repaired and maintained by Tatooine natives or Tatooine locals.
Ah, I forgot intense focus again. Damn it. No.
So, I mean, you can find some meh speeders, but they're, you maybe get 1.5 of the attributes you're looking for, but not all, like 4 of them. Because there's either size, speed, reliability, or handling. Now, those 4 things, you can have, like, maybe 2 of them.
Guess I'm looking for size and handling then.
So small and easy to handle, but not necessarily fast or reliable. Okay. Sure. You can get one for like 200 credits.
200. What if I don't have 200 credits?
you can try to roll to make it cheaper. See if you can work your business on it.
I have a very expensive droid that you might be interested in. No, I got I will try to talk him down a little bit though. 200 is a bit deep for this. Which is only got I'm looking for 4 qualities, my friend, and there are only 2 in it. 125.
Okay. Let's see the negotiation.
I'm going to use my intense focus to take a strain and upgrade this once, like I should have last time.
Light side?
No, intense focus. It's the one.
No, you could also light side it, is what I'm suggesting.
No, not on this. No.
I mean, it's okay.
The last one would have been light side worthy, which is why I wanted to confirm he had flipped the dark side there.
I mean, to be fair, there's only 13 minutes left.
Well, doesn't need it. He's incredible.
Oh, damn.
Congrats,
Never
Meltdown.
mind.
All right, well, sure, I'll spend the dark side on it just since you threw the red in there anyways.
Look, the red rolled up nothing anyway, so you don't have to if you don't want.
No, I'll spend it.
It's irrelevant. The session ends in 13 minutes, like you said.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, you get
Yeah,
you maybe you have some back and forth, and you get it down to like 100, or yeah, you get it down to maybe like 75. You managed to you somehow got him below 50% of what he was originally going to do. You got him to a more
I'm going to
civilized price.
If I don't bring it back, I'll give him an extra 50.
Okay. Interesting. That's ominous.
You must negotiate with insurance people very interestingly.
48, I think, should be what I go down to. 348. There we go.
The triumph would be
Perhaps it randomly has one of the missing 2 and he didn't even know?
sure. So you wanted size and
Don't tell me.
handling, right?
I wanted size and handling.
So there's
It's either going to be speedy in a way I don't know about, or it's going to be reliable in a way I don't know about.
It's
We'll find out next time.
It's the reliability.
I told you not to tell me, man.
You got a triumph. I have to tell you that.
Don't-
That's like
We have viewers.
I can't hide the triumph. I could hide a despair in theory if I want to be a bit of a dick, but I can't hide a triumph. It's like you got to get something.
You ruined the surprise, man. I was looking forward to like turning it on and expecting it to go slow and boom.
Oh, yeah, I guess I could have kind of done that narratively, but I didn't think of that part. But man, just you were
And
trying
then
to
it
do
explodes.
trying to do the secret thing again. I'm like, go play Final Fantasy. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Just leaves. All right, so
Wow.
the rest of you get to the Anchorhead Cantina, or a Anchorhead Cantina. It probably has, I mean, just for shits and giggles, it probably has jizz music playing in it, but it's like a hollow recording of the jizz band playing the trademark song. You know, it's like them finally going on, like, they're trying to promote their like upcoming tour of the galaxy or whatever. So it's just got like this holographic version of the band playing the trademark song. I mean, it's probably like lightly busy right now, not really packed or anything like that. Only like 3 or 4 tables out of like a dozen or so that are actually filled with people. A couple people at the bar. Not really anything too crazy. How do you guys go about your information?
Yeah. I think Jomer's just gonna, start looking around the bar. I don't know, a streetwise check or something like that might make sense as he kind of gets a lay of who's here and who looks like they might be impy.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe it's one of the guys at like the bar that has like, you notice this like singe marks and holes through his coat that seem relatively recent in some way. That kind of draws your attention over the other tables and stuff right now. Maybe because one of the tables maybe is just like the guys are just playing Sabak or whatever.
Yeah, maybe I'll sidle up to him and say, well, you look like a dusty fellow. Been here on Tatooine a bit of time. Care to buy you a drink for a bit of local knowledge? Tap your well if I were.
And he gets up from a bit of a slump from the bar and is like, you keep the drinks rolling and I'll give you whatever you want, buddy. I've had one hell of a day.
And I'll wave over to the bartender and be like, two whiskeys.
Oh,
And
big spender. Hell yeah.
yeah, Jummer doesn't, I don't think, has any money. So,
Go ahead and sidle my ass up to like a not opposite side of the bar, but like where I have sort of like an obtuse, sort of oblong view of what's going on over there. Pay for their drinks, order a drink of my own, and just sort of watch how this idiot operates. Because I'm curious now.
Okay.
I want to see him in action, right? He's like, I hate him. I don't like him. But
Do you like anyone?
maybe his talk isn't just that, and this is a fine chance for him to test his skills in the hunt, as far as I'm concerned.
he's
I
a
know it's not any
verbal.
fucking money because he's like an idiot and he just doesn't have any fucking money. He's like a degenerate gambler. He drinks his shit away, can't fucking raise credits to save his life. Street performing, which he's supposedly good at. So having my money, yeah, I'll pay for the drinks, hang out, buy a drink of myself, watch him work. Make sure I have a good view of this, but not an obvious one.
Yeah, and say, Well, you see, well, I recently came into some credit. Well, I probably shouldn't say it around here. I don't know who's around. Don't want them to think I'm a simple mark or anything. Just some dumb guy with money that can be taken advantage of. But it is burning a hole in my pocket, and I need to get a few things to set up a trading business. You know anything about that?
Trading.
Yeah, you could settle a bet between me and my friend over there, and he motions to you waiting at the bar. And he's we were just saying, these days it seems like everything's dereg, but back in the Imperial days, those I'm sorry, let me back up. I'm running a mile a minute here. I'm just excited to get in this dang business. So I'm a medical provider. I used to work for someone, but I'm starting off on my own. And see, the thing is each medical pack, you don't know where it's coming from, how long it's been, whether it's expired. You got these little outworld colonies buying up stuff that's spoiled half the time. But if you can find them old Imperial ones, they've been sealed. Right. And so I know I had a line on it, but my golly, did that dry up. So I'm kind of in a pickle. And we heard a rumor, and maybe you could settle this bet whether it's true or not. There's a stash around here. I said it was just tomfoolery, but he over there is convinced.
I grimace visibly every time that he overtly gestures towards me. Like, seriously? You just point me out as like the guy who's listening to the conversation? Me? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so he seems a little strange. He's like struggling with trading. And you're into the medical supplies and stuff, and he looks at his arm that it looks like there was like another sizable hole in his coat, but like the whole thing is just wrapped up with like a tunic or t-shirt or something that's just wrapped around his arm, and isn't necessarily taken too well of, like it's blood stained and stuff through.
It seems like an easy way to make money with all the infrastructure disappearing. Set up a quick little business, make a little money, retire early. Stop working for someone else and start working for yourself. Haven't done it yet, but this, first time for everything.
I mean, I don't know of a lot of relevant medical stuff around here, but I mean, I guess you're looking for, you said Imperial stuff, so I guess you're probably looking at that fort and whatnot. I mean, who knows what's left behind there, but I wouldn't hang around that.
Yeah, see, I told you it was just local legend.
Give me, well, deception's not really the core part of it. Yeah, give me a charm check. Couple purple, 2 purple. We'll see how this goes further.
Put a light side point on that shit. The game is almost over. There's no reason not to just do it. Yeah.
Yeah. How do I? Yeah. Someone flip that for me. I'll upgrade.
Okay. Okay. Hey, I mean, you really don't. I mean, I was out there, and it's not as cracked up to be. Yeah, there's Imperials don't seem to be like, I don't know what happened to them. They don't seem to really be around much or anything. But that place is a war zone. I mean, everybody and their uncles is ganging up in there and fighting over that, thinking that there's gonna be pride, but they're just basically just starting to destroy everything in the process. Like just the other day, the Quasar riders just blew a giant hole in the wall. just to get into the place, and then they join the fighting.
Well, I mean, I got this little blaster here, and he pulls out like, you know, a little like, you know, tiny ass nub nose, you know, pistol, and he's like, I mean, not to say that I've shot a whole lot, but you know, it's not like I don't know where the trigger is. I mean, oh, well, wait, actually, let me ask you, Mister. You seem to know. Is this the locking mechanism right here? No, I don't think so. Never mind. But yeah, he's playing dumb as shit, and he's like, I mean, well, what about someone like you giving us I mean, just a look see? You know, if there's some sort of outcome, maybe we can deal you in.
He looks at you just like almost like appalled, and he just knocks the whiskey back. He's like, "Oh, I got shot enough, man. I don't want to go back to that. There's too many people getting their hands in that cookie jar to be worth any effort. There's so many people. No, what? You're
Yeah, I get. Look, I told you it's off limits. Local legend. It's just impossible." And he says, "All right, well, think anyway that someone just may perhaps be able to get their hands on something or other. You know, I'll be in town for another couple of days. You know, before I go off and search it somewhere else. I mean, this is a little dry for business here on Tatooine."
I mean, yeah, I hope your business goes well. I mean, if there's something that doesn't involve that, I mean, maybe I can help you. I mean, you barely know your way around a hole in the wall.
I mean, I mean, I wasn't born yesterday. I mean, maybe a couple of days before that, but you know, you mentioned other ways. You think there's another way besides fighting all these people?
I mean, I like to think there is. I mean, who wants to be a part of, like, I don't live for war. I'm just a scavenger, man. I'm just trying to make my living around here. I barely got myself up off the ground. You know, my opening investment, most of that's now been shot up.
Oh, what'd you do?
I got too close to that shit show.
Oh, you're a fellow procurer of goods and services?
Whatever I get my hands on, you know.
What do you normally get your hands on, if you don't mind me asking? I'm moving through, so I won't be a competitor.
Crash shipwrecks, you know, get some engine parts. A lot of people want those nowadays. Droid parts, you know, the Hutts are buying that up at the wazoo. I mean, they can't get enough of the droid parts, so I find what I can, and I get through. If I, you know, didn't have to go through a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy whose uncle knew a, you know, if it wasn't so many extra middlemen out, you know, taking every bit of cut out of it, then, you know, maybe I could actually make a good living.
And what's keeping you from doing all that? It seems like it'd be easy peasy. Go to the source. They get it from there. You get it from there.
Well, when I hear that the places are open for scavenge and show up and there's a war zone, it kind of stops the progress. And then I try to, like, you know, against my better judgment, I try to sneak through, get through maybe like you know, poke my head in the front doors, essentially, as it were, and then I get shot.
I mean, how many of them? What they trying to scavenge for?
There's tons of them. I lost count.
Tons.
I mean, when
big base.
I mean, when the riders show up, and I mean, they brought like a small army with them.
Huh. I think at this point he's kind of like, well, shit.
And that's where we end tonight's episode. Thank you all for being here. That was episode 3. I'll get this up on YouTube pretty much as, you know, within the next couple days or so. Hopefully I'm going to split it up into 2 parts instead of doing the 1 part thing. So some minor, not we'll say editing, but it's very minor. But it might help make the viewing experience a little easier. Aside from that, see you guys Wednesday, assuming nothing goes wrong for Blades. And then, of course, next week. And then throughout the week, I'll still be doing Final Fantasy because there's still Stormblood to clean up. And then on the Shadowbringers, it's early next week. Take it easy, folks.
The hand of Nard waves goodbye.